Are you ready to talk about what feels like half of an episode?
First off, perfect description.
This episode picks up immediately after the last one did. Shinomiya has picked up Reno, and Kafka's work van and tossed it to the side. Rather unceremoniously, to use a big word that I don't often use.
By the way, I have a question for you. Maybe I misheard this. I don't think Kafka asked to drive it. I think he just took it, and I think he was like, "Oh shit! If they find out, they're gonna be pissed."
I don't know. I don't recall. It might be something in one of the later episodes, but I don't think it got brought up at this point yet.
I actually thought it was in the last episode for some reason.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But so shit. What's her name?
Shinomiya. Is it Shinomiya? Or Shinomiya.
What her first name's Kaori. Okay, Kaori, right? Anyway, bitch tits. Shinomiya. Okay. That's her name. Shinomiya. So Shinomiya, in addition to showing that she's already got one of those fucking rad suits that lets her beat the hell out of kaiju, in addition to having one of those and knowing how to use it effectively, she also reveals that she is a hobby kaiju hunter. Like, she doesn't do this for a job yet.
Let me ask you, I feel like, I don't know. So it's one of those things where Japan is so, by the book and by the law and, respect. I feel like if anyone found out that she decided to just be a little shit and throw his car because you're parked in my lucky number, I feel like they'd automatically be like, well, you fail. Nice try. Better luck next year. But at the same time, her dad is still such a high up in the organization and the government or whatever. Or at least that's what they make it seem like, that maybe she'd get away with it. But I don't know.
I mean,
if you're going somewhere to try out for something, you don't start your day off by vandalizing another test taker's car.
Did you choose the term vandalize because it's a van?
No, but I'm happy that happened.
Are you? I think it was a very well placed pun. I just going based off of the people that we see throughout the episode, I get a feeling that a lot of these kaiju hunters are, the nice way of saying it, they seem like they're a certain kind of people, and that type of people seems to be delinquents.
I don't know if I'd say delinquents. Maybe it's more that they you have to have a level of attitude, not ego but confidence, you know.
I mean I would say with some of the characters we meet that it goes hand in hand. Yeah.
Ego. Yeah. I'll agree. Yeah.
So and plus again, I feel like Shinomiya has been here long enough. She probably comes here all the time. Fuck's sake, she's got her own parking spot basically. Unofficially, but she's here all the time. Her dad works here, as you've said.
Oh no. So that you did miss from last episode. This isn't she's always this is my spot.
No, right.
The reason she made that move was because that day it was her lucky number.
Right, that day the 5 was her lucky number. I'm just saying I don't mean that's specifically her unofficial spot. I mean more of in the sense of her dad basically runs the company, this branch of the government. One of those,
they know me around here?
Yeah, everyone knows me here. Okay. Do you even know who the fuck I am? And Kafka,
do you know who my dad is? Yeah.
Do you know what I do for fun on my days off? I kill kaiju. What do you do with your life? And Kafka, I mean, let's be real here. Kafka's not the brightest bulb in the box. So he just kind of picks up the work van. He picks up the work van and puts it back.
How does he think that's a good idea?
I think he's trying to punk the only valid reason I think that he possibly has for picking up the work van is he's well, she's got one of those suits. Maybe I can make it look like I've got one of those suits too.
I mean, even if that was his mindset, this just shows, God, he's so unaware.
He's very much self-centered, not in a bad way, oh, he's such a selfish bitch, but he's definitely focused on himself, and his goals.
I think it might be better to say he lives in his own world.
Right. He definitely lives in his own little fantasy, because like his only goal is really to walk beside his childhood girlfriend. And he's like,
Yep.
like, I don't care what it takes to do this. I'm gonna do it, and don't you forget who the fuck I am. And then he pretty quickly gets humbled.
Yeah.
So in addition to Shinomiya showing up, she also has a butler, so we know that this girl comes from it. Like, she's got the money.
Got money.
Like, she don't need to be here. She's choosing to be here for her own entertainment. And she's got her own security entourage to keep her safe, which I don't think...
Definitely one of those, or like, hey, this is the family business, I have to be here. One or the other, you know?
Oh, based on her behavior, I don't think that's it at all. I think she just genuinely enjoys showing people up.
Well, yeah. I think that leads into the first part.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's whatever.
Yeah, it
is.
But
then, I mean, Reno
very
correctly calls dumb Kafka out.
You know the thing that's kind of fucked is, like, I watched this show and I'm like, man, fucking Kafka, he's too old to be trying to live out his dreams, man. And then I remember he's my age. Like, I'm looking at this through a lens like I'm Reno's age, and then I remember, oh my god, I'm the Kafka in this situation.
Sure are.
God.
Which more accurate does that make all of his old guy running and stuff feel?
Dude, I tell you what, I cannot run for shit. I am so out of shape, and not even like, oh, I'm just so fat. My legs are so fucked, I can't run properly. So, like, going to the pool is my exercise now.
I'll tell you what, man. Getting a bicycle, or not getting, but using my bicycle again, much smarter idea than trying to start running again.
Oh, for sure, 100%. So, old man and sexy young Reno the bitch finally take their steps into the testing facility to become, or to try to become, kaiju fighters. And, you know, I will say one thing.
What's the name for them?
You know...
It's not Defense Force, is it?
I think it is the Defense Force. That sounds right.
It seems like a very basic and generic term for, we only fight kaiju. Although, you know what? I'll bet this is the type of world where, like, hey, it's such a global catastrophe level threat.
Yeah.
That, like, just boring, like, I want your land wars are basically gone.
Well, I mean, when there's fucking giant monsters destroying everything. I will say this. Okay, so I'm gonna give a little throwback to our Godzilla -1 episode we did. So Godzilla -1 starts off with showing how fucked up Japan has been after World War II, right? And like,
they weren't just doing fine.
Yeah, no, crazy, right? Like, the story takes place in so like immediately picks up at the end of World War II. Like one of the supposed to be suicide bombers finally makes it home. Which, again, I don't know if you know this. It's not a good thing when you're a kamikaze to go home, because that means that you failed your one mission you had.
The worst thing.
Right, and so there's a lot of shame that goes with that. Not the point, though. It picks up with that. I brought that up just so you can kind of see where the story starts. But when he gets home, like, everything's fucked. Like, I'm talking entire cities and neighborhoods have been destroyed by firebombs and everything. And at that point, everyone just kind of...
By the way, those aren't the cities that were taken up by the nuke.
No, not even a little bit.
That's all the other damage that was done.
Yeah. And I feel like this is just one of those other situations, like, where it's like, okay, look, we know now what we're up against. We need to fucking stop our petty bullshit. And, like, as with... Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think it's more like, what's it called?
Pacific Rim.
No. the Watchmen. His idea is give them a world-class monster, which in the comic is basically a kaiju.
Yeah, that's true.
And then everyone is so focused on that threat that they come together. That's what stops the Cold War in that world.
That's true. Well,
because of that existential threat.
Right. Well, and if you remember in Pacific Rim, like the military wasn't for fighting wars anymore. It was for kaiju. And like 90% of their budget in like every nation was building the Jaegers. So I feel like this is another one of those like necessity is taking over. Like where people are like, okay, look, yes, yeah, we don't really like the Russians, we don't really like the other countries around us, but we're gonna work together for the greater good on this. Because I feel like Japan, there's no way in hell Japan is the only nation that's under attack by these kaiju, you know?
Well, there is one way, and that way is if every other nation has been completely destroyed.
By kaiju?
Yeah. Shit. I mean, the kaiju, they're going, at least in this, they're going around trying to eat people. That's their food.
Right. So it's very much in the same vein as Attack on Titan.
Unless there's no other people anywhere. Yeah. Exactly. Unless there's no other people anywhere. Yeah, everyone has the same threat.
Yeah. And I gotta be honest, I like that. I am so tired of main characters that are just fucking prodigies. I am so tired of seeing like, oh yeah, this guy came into the Defense Force and he just aced every single test. But like,
so I feel like we're getting away from that, which is good. But I feel like the way that most of the time we've been getting away from that is, oh, they're not a prodigy, but they immediately become the strongest, like Naruto with the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Or Deku, yes, who's so powerful he breaks his own arms. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, Kafka also gets the insane amount of power for a not a prodigy right away. But at least in Kafka's situation, he can't use it under threat of basically death and dissection.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Deku's like, well, I might break my arm, but I'm still seen as the coolest hero ever.
It is. I am glad that Kafka is at least having his own struggles with, I mean, with this aptitude test he's taking, he is not using his kaiju powers at all. Because he knows, like, it's not fair it's not fair that I have this booster that nobody else has access to. And
I don't think it's that. I think he's afraid if they find out, they'll kill him.
Well, if you remember, towards the end of the episode, he even tells Reno, because Reno's like, why don't you just use a little bit of your kaiju power? And he's like, that's not fair. Like, that wouldn't be me accomplishing this. And he's
like Kafka.
He's
delusional, and he should have used that the entire time.
Absolutely. But I have mad respect for Kafka because he's... Yes, he is an idiot, but he's also down to earth. Like, he's not...
Yes.
Like, he has lofty goals. Don't get me wrong. Huge
he's
lofty
goals. He's a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, he's a hopeless romantic, and not in the sense of like, oh man, I can't wait to sleep with Shinomiya. But like, he has those goals that he's set for himself, and he is determined to accomplish these goals, even if it kills him.
He's a hopeless romantic in the sense that he romanticizes the world around him.
Yeah.
And he's a dreamer.
And he's an idiot. But
most hopeless romantics and dreamers idiots.
Yeah. Well, and as we see, he very quickly established himself at like the bottom of the barrel for this like physical fitness test.
Well, and actually, that's an interesting point. He's 219 out of 225. So there were 6 guys doing this that were even more out of it than him.
I mean, let's be real here. You could pick 6 of us and put us in this aptitude test, and we would do worse than he's doing.
He might win. Don't ever tell him I said that.
Yeah, but and then because he was talking all hot shit earlier, Shinomiya has to come over and be like, hey, look how good I did. I was number 5 out of 225. That's almost
better than you. Yeah.
Better than you, Betch, but also better than 220 other people that were trying to do this today. So, like, okay, so I'm not good at math. 225.
You were almost only better than 5 people.
He
was better than 6.
Yeah, you're right. They were
than 200.
They were almost the exact same spot on opposite ends. Exactly. She made the top 2% of people at this tryout. And then we finally get to meet Bowl of Bitch. What's his name?
This guy?
Bull haircut.
Bowl cut?
Yeah. Yeah, the Bowl of Bitch. Hoshina.
I mean, I feel awful because he's one of my favorite guys in the show.
Oh, he's a fucking badass.
Yeah, Hoshina.
So Hoshina is like, hey.
But he's also hilarious.
Oh,
it's not just that he's a badass. He makes me cry so much.
He's a badass, and he's not like, much like Kafka, he's kind of down to earth. So he ends up, hold on, God damn it. I hate that I don't, as much as I miss as much as I'm glad we're not doing the fucking, like, Americanized names in anime anymore, I kind of wish I could remember people's names in this anime. So...
it could be worse.
Yeah.
House of the Dragons right now is a fucking nightmare. All the names are one letter off of each other.
Oh, God. Fuck House of the Dragon, man. So Hoshina... Hoshina is Mina's, like, right-hand man. Like, he's second in command to Mina, who is...
She's the captain, he's the sub-captain.
Right, and Mina...
Or vice-captain?
Vice-captain, I think? Yeah, vice-captain of the 3rd Division. To Mina. And Mina is, of course, Kafka's childhood friend who he so desperately wants to prove to that he is capable of doing what she is capable of doing. And he is just... Man, Kafka, you're doing swimmingly at that.
Well, and in Kafka's defense, you can get it.
Oh, in Kafka's defense, like he's nowhere near what she is.
Oh no. Oh, it's adorable. He thinks he might be one day.
Like I feel like what happened was when they were children, Kafka's like, yeah, we're gonna be in the defense corps together, and then he went and played video games, and Mina was like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the defense corps, and then she went to the gym every day
and murdered every kaiju
forever. She ended up like putting in the hours, putting in the work for years. Meanwhile, Kafka, when he turned 18, was like, all right, time to start getting into shape, and just failed miserably, and that's his whole life. Okay, you know what? No, here's the way to put it. She strove for lofty goals. Kafka settled.
100%.
For Mina, failure was unacceptable for Mina. She set the goals for herself, and she did everything she had to get to that place. Kafka settled and got a normal job.
Yeah. So it's to say without seeing Kafka before they raised the age limit, and he had to stop trying out.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see.
Like Kaiju number 7, like a prequel series called Kaiju number 7 or something. Oh no, wait, we already know what Kaiju number 7 is. Ooh, prequel series that goes back to the beginning of the Kaiju attacks. Kaiju number 1.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if I'd like that. One of the things I like about this is that it is set in a world where it's not like, oh, what are we gonna do? I like that it's set in oh yeah, kaijus are just the thing.
We just have a thing. Let's just get out. Yeah. So
it's like I don't need House of the Dragons. I already watched Game of Thrones.
Hoshino is kind of like, all right, so here's everyone that's trying out, and Mina's like, haha, hey Kafka, you dumb bitch, you finally coming back. Okay. Also, why does
I also like that Hoshino's actively making fun of Kafka here, not knowing that they're friends.
Oh yeah, he's like, what a fucking loser. I bet he doesn't even know how to do a push-up. God, what a fucking loser. I bet he's a total bitch. And Mina's just like stacking the papers up. She's like, well, no, he's not wrong. He is a little bit of a bitch. Also, why does Hoshina have vampire
Malibu.
fangs?
And I also like this guy with the blue hair. He's just so cool.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the character design for all these characters. Like, yeah, they've got the generic people that are here trying out, but then you've got like fucking this guy just looks like Kirishima. I'm gonna be real with you. The fucking shark fin hair. It's just Kirishima. Yeah, it's just Kirishima.
Okay, here's something. A couple of people in Tokyo Revengers have that haircut too. I'm so curious to know what that haircut looks like in real life.
It's the pompadour.
All right, you keep going. I'm gonna look at pompadour.
That's the representation of what that hairstyle is supposed to be, is the pompadour. So like, you watched Yu Yu Hakusho, right?
No, that's what
that's supposed to be the Kuwabara haircut.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, that's a very.
Oh my god, that totally is.
That's a very popular hairstyle for delinquents in Japan. That's why I brought up the delinquency.
No, it just looks like they're trying to be Elvis impersonators.
I mean, that's effectively what it was.
It's amazing. That makes me very happy.
But yeah, and then like we do meet a good number of the cast of like other people that are gunning to be in the Defense Corps, and
other people that are trying out and have a chance.
Right, that actually have some kind of potential qualification. And I gotta be honest, aside from like the handful of characters they do zoom-ins on, everyone else is just like generic background character look. And honestly, Kafka could be generic background character if it weren't for his fucking eyebrows. Exactly.
And I think that's one of the things that is such a great idea about his character design.
Yeah.
These others stand out. Kafka's not.
I don't think Kafka's meant to stand out.
Exactly. That's the point. Kafka's supposed to be that everyman. Joe somebody.
Joe man. And then, like, while everyone's kind of taking their few minutes of break, Shinomiya kind of just shows up to just gloat again. Like, hey, look how fucking cool I am. My dad is a powerful man.
Also, it's one of those things where it's like, Shinomiya is, I'd say, at least 9 years younger than Kafka. So it's funny because it's one of those things where, like, so often you see, like, the older person, it's like, dude, really? Maybe stop picking on the kid. But it's also like, okay, you're this far along at this age, and you feel the need to pick on that old guy?
Oh, for sure.
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
And it's just so funny how the opposite of it is, it also looks that pathetic and stupid, you know?
Yeah, well, so cool. Fun fact. Shinomiya's birthday is the day after mine. According to the...
Seems weird to me that they just have a birthday on mine.
I mean, it's on the official wiki.
It's something I just never think of. That's one of those things that I never think of.
So, okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Fictional characters will have fictional birthdays.
She is 15 years younger than Kafka. She is a teenager. She is 16 years old.
Well, I was right then.
Oh, yeah.
At least 9 years.
Yep. And she's just picking a fight with an old dude just for the shits and gigs of it. And even the other
right?
Even the other people like trying out are like, this is weird. Like, this doesn't feel right.
Well, and I love how everyone's like, first thought is like, oh, he's a fanboy, and it's like, okay, that's just such a creepy thing to fanboy over.
Yeah. With Kafka kind of feeling like, okay, I might be fucked. Like realistically speaking, he has fully been humbled at this point to realize, like, I'm up against people I have no shot of overtaking. And
to the point where, like, I was a little surprised that he kept going with the tests.
Right. Yeah. Well, and honestly, I feel like if it weren't for Reno being there with him, like, he probably would have quit. But Reno is such a fucking positive energy about him that he's even with how, like, emo boy Reno can be in this moment when Kafka's kind of like, I think I'm done. I don't think I got this. Reno's like, hey, listen.
Come on, sir.
Sir, with all due respect, you know the anatomy of a kaiju. Usually in these tests, they have us dissecting kaiju. So, like, if you ace this, you might be good. You might have enough points to get by. And so Kafka's like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit. And then they find out that they're not going to be dissecting kaiju. They're going to be killing kaiju.
Straight up in a fucking, like, wall. Literally Attack on Titan.
They Attack on Titan.
Literally in a walled part of the city. And they're like, hey, guess what? We've been, instead of killing them, we've been gathering them so you guys can fight them.
Yeah, like these...
Good luck. People who, I'm guessing, there was 225, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing 224 of you have never fought a kaiju before?
Yeah, or come close enough to that. Yeah. Also, okay, I want to talk about something. We don't have the this isn't a video podcast by any means. But I do want to talk about, so I apologize. There's going to be just something you guys can't see suffer. The fucking keypad that he uses to open the gates to this thing pisses me off so bad.
Why?
Top to bottom, left to right. When you look at a keypad, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, star, 0, pound sign, right? That's what it should be. That's what a standard keypad should look like. For his keypad, it is 852-406-913 C7X.
I could completely understand if it was top to bottom, right to left. I mean, that's how
the Japanese read. Makes no rhyme or there's no fucking reason for it. And why? Anyway, I'm mad about it. I'm gonna move past it because I could spend all of like 12 minutes talking about it. And I gotta be honest, when
know what?
Yeah,
I could see one good reason for it.
Yeah.
If every time someone accessed the keypad, because it's a digital keypad too, it's not like you're pushing an actual button.
Right.
It's buttons on a digital keypad. I could see it if every time the keys switched, so that you couldn't just like muscle memory type it in. Like you actually have to stop, look, and think in order to, because it's a pen holding kaiju.
Sure.
Like every way to make sure, like, hey, this isn't accidentally getting opened, you know?
Yeah, and I know that when you say pen holding kaiju, you mean it's like a pen that has kaiju within it. The only thing that comes to mind,
right with it, yeah.
I'm seeing a kaiju with just a big fucking pencil. So I gotta be honest, one thing I've kind of noticed about a lot of the kaiju they have in this show is they're missing eyes.
Yes, that is true.
And I understand it. I get the idea behind it. It's like, okay, these kaiju are meant to be fucking alien. Like they're not meant to be, an alligator coming up out of the ground. It's meant to be disturbing. And
yeah, it's supposed to be foreign.
Yeah. And when you have an eyeless creature that's got fucking horse hooves at the end of their fingertips, I'd say that's pretty fucking foreign. And again, Reno and Kafka went into this expecting dissection and disposal of a kaiju. So when this big eyeless fucking...
Which also makes Reno's choice to take that job make even more sense.
Right.
Because at the beginning, you're like, oh, is he just going to try to learn about kaiju through this job?
Right.
No. In his mind, he's literally like, hey, this is the cheat sheet to the entire... to like a quarter of the exam.
Right.
You know?
And... so when they're charged by a living kaiju with, horse hooves for fingertips and no eyes.
No eyeballs.
And also, I will say its face is kind of shaped like a horse skull. It's a very intense...
I'd say more like a bull.
A what? A bull, yeah. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Right. I naturally, Kafka's like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. And Shinomi's just like, what a little bitch.
Right.
Because she's a bitch. And Reno, very much in uncharted territory for these two at least. And fucking Hoshina's very much like, all right, guys, this is going to be so much fun to watch. You guys are just, you're a bunch of adorable little newbies. And this is going to be great. Also, within this scene of them all getting decked out in these like power suits essentially. We find out that some of the people that are that are here for this like audition piece, like they've been going to school for this. Like this is what their education was bringing them to.
There's no backup plan. There's no like, hey, if this doesn't work out, I'll fall back on teaching.
Yeah.
It's like this is it.
Well, like but that brings the question is, why the fuck didn't Kafka try going to school?
My guess would be he's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's good.
No offense, Kafka. You don't seem the smartest.
I mean, shit, I got a degree in writing.
I got a degree in going to college.
Yeah. And I gotta be honest, like we've seen Shinomiya use the power suit a little bit, but we get like the full effect of what this does. Like it conforms to your body. Like this is no longer, it's not a suit, it's an extension of your own self.
I mean, it even improves your heart rate and blood flow, and it's not going into you. Like you'd be like, I mean, I feel like there's things where it's not like the Venom symbiote where it's going into your spores and into your body.
Right.
It is an exosuit, but it's still improving all parts of you, including the internal.
Exactly.
Now, the part that's interesting is different people have different, as they call it, unleashed combat powers.
Right.
Which I don't get how you would just automatically have that. Like,
I feel like
it's just an interesting.
I feel like it what it would translate to as effectively is the intuition on how to use it.
That makes sense.
So like
still
like Reno starts off with an 8% combat power. Like Reno,
which they're like, that's actually really
that's
good.
A fucking solid start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most of these people are starting with single digits, maybe low double digits, which is still decent. Like it's not.
It says like it'd be amazing if any of you cracked 20.
Right, and even homeboy with the blue hair and the man bun that's going to school to kill kaiju only throws out an 18%, which again, not even no disrespect
Sharkface
to
was
the
like
name.
12?
Something like that. But like this combat power is gauging how proficient you're going to be at what you do. 14%.
It is very important to them.
Right, yeah.
Like to not just like the applicants, but to the defense corps.
Right, because like if you can't use the tools you're given, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And
this is the only thing that goes to even sort of level the playing ground.
Yeah, this is so with these suits, you know, they'll be stronger, faster, better in general at what they do. Better at murder for monsters. And then we get to Kafka, who has a 0% combat output.
Followed by my favorite part of this episode. Hoshina is holding his sides. He's laughing so hard.
Hoshina is, I gotta be honest, the reason I love Hoshina so much is because he does
what you do.
For sure. Like, absolutely. Like, if I was in his position, I would not take my job seriously. Let's be real. Not in the sense that like I would let people die. Not in the sense that I would let people die, but like, let's again be real here. These are fucking giant monsters destroying the city, killing people at every opportunity, and like your job is to hunt them down. Like, that's fucked. Like if you don't have a sense of humor about it, like you're fucked.
Oh yeah, and especially like. It's the like candidate part, like, and it's not even just the candidate part. It's literally the how well can you wear your suit part. You don't need to take this too seriously.
For sure, like it's like, come on, man, you're trying on fucking clothes at Sears right now. Like, be chill. And we see Shinomiya is at 46%, which tops out most people that have worn these suits
ever.
Like he,
like not just like most people that have worn them like in this test run.
No,
like the people who are already passed and are in the defense force.
Like Hoshina is even like saying that she's on level with a lot of the squad leaders or platoon leaders. I'm sorry, platoon leaders, which I don't know if you know how much a platoon is. It's
more than 3.
I'm trying to see how much a platoon actually is.
At least 4.
A platoon is typically 20 to 50 soldiers.
I was right.
Now, in modern military, that's usually like a lieutenant level, which quick lesson for the military ignorant.
Illiterate.
Yeah, so there's typically 2 branches or 2 routes that you can take when you join the military. There is the enlisted and the commissioned officers. Enlisted members are the people that you see on TV that are like privates, sergeants, master sergeants, first sergeants, all those the sergeant roles. For the Army and the Marines, for the Navy and the Coast Guard, it's you've got petty officers and your seamen. And then
makes sense.
And then in the Air Force, you have airmen, and then I think they also have petty officers, but it's a little bit different than what the Coast Guard and Navy have. So then on the other side, the commissioned officers, you start off as an ensign, and then lieutenant is second lieutenant is next, then first lieutenant. So first and second lieutenants are typically ones leading platoons. So the commissioned officers already are starting off at a higher level than sergeants would. So in this circumstance, Shinomiya is already at an officer level of power, while everyone else is kind of like... Go ahead.
At 16.
At 16, she's already off-putting enough to be a commissioned officer, whereas these guys are probably, I would guess that Shark Boy at 14 is probably like a corporal or maybe a sergeant with the 3 chevrons instead of whatever. So like I would get like they're strong. Clearly these are strong individuals, but her power is on such a different, like this is Goku going Super Saiyan 3 and kicking Frieza's ass on Namek. That's the level difference that we're talking about. Yeah. Honestly, that would be a fight. I would pay money to see Super Saiyan 3 Goku travel back in time to fight Frieza.
I mean, what would to travel back in time to fight the Frieza that Super Saiyan 1 Goku fought?
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be a fight.
No. Well, I mean...
Like, you wouldn't even see him move his arm and Frieza's neck would just snap.
I mean, in all fairness, it was barely a fight to begin with back then.
That's why I'm saying.
Yeah, it would be a sight to behold. It would be just one swing of Goku's hand and a bloody smear.
Yeah. God, I hate those stupid eyebrows. Or not eyebrows.
So, alright. So, back to Kafka being the absolute worst.
Literal.
No, like to the point that I don't...
0.0.
I don't think they've ever seen a 0.0.
I mean, the reason Hoshino was laughing so hard is because they were like, people were like, oh man, I only got a 14. And they're like, come on, don't worry about it. These are just preliminary. The only way you'd lose right off of the bat is if you got like, I don't know,
a
0. and
then Kafka shows up because he don't disappoint.
He sure doesn't.
And Kafka is trying in his defense, he is trying his damnedest to level up. Like he is
sitting there in the pose trying to take a poop.
He is shitting his pants, and Hoshino is fucking loving every second of it. And honestly, can't blame him. Cannot blame him, because I have, in my time in the Coast Guard, I have worked with some incompetent motherfuckers. Let's just put it that way. And
yeah, incompetence is not always incompetence is rarely a no.
Yeah.
Incompetence is usually a where can they do the least damage.
Right. And god damn it. Shimirapa Shima bang bang. Shinomiya. Shinomiya. So Shinomiya is now pissed off because, like, yeah, she knows she's better than Kafka. She's like, okay, look, I know I'm better than him, but like, he picked up a fucking van. what is he doing? Like, why is he fucking about like this? And I gotta be honest, having that moment, because like very clearly she's very high on herself, but she's also humble enough to recognize talent where she sees it. And I feel like she's also got a competitive edge to her, where she wants somebody to push her to be better as well. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, also she's also feels like she's being tricked here.
Right.
Like, why would, like, he's clearly that strong. There's no way I could have, like, misinterpreted that. So, like, was he messing with me then, or is he messing with me now?
Either I did not actually throw that van the way I thought I did, or he's just being a bitch right now.
Yeah. And I think a part of it might have also been, like, so is he, so then what's he going to do during the combat trial?
Yeah.
You know? Like, if he's messing with them already, and he has been the entire day, then, like, is he just going to try and show me up, make me look like a fucking punk in the combat trial?
God, I wish.
Like,
I
think there's a lot of thoughts going through her head.
Oh yeah, for sure. She's very conflicted. She's very conflicted on a lot of stuff. Cause like, it's Kafka. He's just a dude. He's just some dude that showed up today. She's fucking Kikoru.
He might as well just been walking by and like, all right, I'll get this shot.
Oh, this looks like a fun time. What's going on here? You guys having some tryouts for a team or something?
Worst ways to spend your Saturday.
All right, so the time it's time. They're released in the Attack on Titan Wall Maria area. It's basically, if I had to guess, they had a giant wall built around a destroyed part of the city. Like, this isn't some simulation thing. This is an actual part of the city that was fucking destroyed. And they're like, hey, you know what?
They're able to recognize, like, hey, instead of just like rebuilding and spending a shit ton on that infrastructure, we can use this to our advantage.
I kind of, this might be crazy idea, like crazy thought, but it kind of feels like, because there's already kaiju there, like, what if they just built the wall around the kaiju that were existing there? Like, you remember in Age of Ultron when Tony is fighting the Hulk and he just builds a giant fucking barrier around the Hulk?
Yeah. But we know that isn't this, because when Hoshima is like first showing it to him, he actually says, "Oh, these are ones that we caught and brought back."
Oh, okay. I missed that part.
Yeah. He also has something like there's like 13 Yonju and like one Kaiju, or like when describing the sizes, he's like, there's one like big bitch and there's like 14.
Yeah, couple little bitches.
Kill you quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That
the bug-sized one that went down Kafka's throat, but like, you know, like the spider one we saw.
Right. Okay. I must have missed the part where they captured and relocated or whatever. But like,
it's literally one sentence.
Yeah. So very quickly, Shinomiya shows off that she knows what the fuck she's doing. She's literally running across, like, up the sides of walls and just fucking decimating them. Like,
everyone else is running around like slapping these guys, and she's like, "Are you fucking idiots? Not aware that there is no spoon?"
Let me show you fuckers how it's done. She is literally running on the side of walls, blowing kaiju to pieces, and Kafka can't even lift up his gun.
Well, and that's the crazier part. It's not like, Kafka can't lift his gun. The other people are actively shooting the kaiju, but not hurting it.
Right.
And she's one-shotting some. Somehow, she's so in tune with her suit that she can make the bullet shot out of her gun hit harder.
Right. Well, the guns themselves are built in a similar fashion, where it's in tune with the person. And
still, it's just a crazy thought.
I gotta be honest, it very much reminds me of the guns from like Judge Dredd, where it's only gonna work for the person that it's designed to work for.
Or what was that James Bond where it only released on his palm print?
Yeah.
If you didn't have the right palm print and you tried using it, it like spiked into your hand.
That's the same. Yeah, that's what happened in Judge Dredd. Was it would, if it didn't track your fingerprints, it would like explode in your hand. And I think
exactly. Yeah.
And on top of Kafka just struggling to function as a person, and Shinomiya just blowing everything away. Mina is there watching. Mina is present and being like, okay, that's my boy down there. He's gonna do something cool. I hope.
Bro, she's sitting there like, yep, I'm real glad I didn't fuck him.
Real glad I didn't let him knock me up.
Right?
How okay, just on the topics, how musty do you think the inside of these suits smell?
That's an interesting one, because with how much it pairs up with your body, I wonder if like there's some sort of like pore device within the suit itself.
Like a still
Letting,
suit
like,
from
sweat
Dune?
Yeah.
Like it purifies your pee-pee?
At the very least, not moisture wicking. I mean, what are they doing?
Oh, moisture wicking and shit. But like also I like to think that, well, because they've all got masks on over their faces. I feel like it's entirely possible that they've got like filtration systems. So like, because you never know how long you're going to be on the scene with these fucking kaiju, you know?
Oh, by the way, real quick, he just called it out: 36 Yonju and 1 Hoju.
Right. So it's established that Kafka is not really good at the whole like killing kaiju, but he knows so much about their anatomy that he's figuring out ways to help the other combatants to kill the kaiju. He's Shinomiya, like I said, is somehow able to one-shot through their fucking thick skulls, but the others can't even put a scratch on them. Right.
And then Kafka's just like, hey guys, there. And then they all start dying.
Shoot them in the belly, and he's running around throwing fucking flash grenades because he knows these things don't see good. And like, I gotta be real, like, this is one of those times that his knowledge here is earned. Like, this is not something that he just like, God, I'm so tired of that like stereotype, or not stereotype, the cliche of, oh, he had a vision and now he suddenly knows kind of thing. But it's like Kafka he's done his homework. The things that he knows about stopping kaiju are things that he's learned on the job.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is literally the difference between like this is the difference between like going to a culinary school and thinking you're the best chef ever, or going and cooking in Michelin star restaurants and learning from them.
I honestly,
you still get the skills, but you're not gonna, and you'll intellectually know the skills, but you won't understand how to use them as well.
You've got the book learning, you don't have the street cred. Exactly. I would honestly, I would say I would trust somebody that's worked at Waffle House for the last 10 years over somebody that just came out of culinary school.
I don't know about that one, but I'll tell you what, I'd trust the busboy at like a Michelin star restaurant more than some people that come out of culinary school.
I would trust a person that comes out of a Waffle House more than I would trust like Conor McGregor to protect me, because God, those people from Waffle House are tough motherfuckers.
I was just gonna say, now if we're talking about cooking, that's one thing, but if we're talking about kaiju defense, like killers, yeah, I'm going with you. Waffle House over anything.
Do you think Shinomiya did a semester working at a Waffle House?
Nah, she turned her nose up at it. She thinks she's too good for those.
That would be the best like side story for them to do, is just Shinomiya doing a summer working at fucking Waffle House, and that's when everything starts to click for her, and she's just like, I understand now.
You want them smothered and covered.
Oh my God. It's like how you need to stay on top of the kaiju and also get inside the kaiju. So while Kafka is like, okay, like this is how we can, like, I can't kill these kaiju myself. I've accepted this, but I can still help. And he's trying to go from one group to the next to help them kill the kaiju. And poor guy trying to be helpful.
He's also not bitter about it.
No. Like,
happy to be doing this.
Again, like he is full, like I think he's finally woken up to realize, okay, I may not be the guy I thought I was. I'm not Elijah Wood at the end of Spy Kids 3. Well, no, he is Elijah Wood at the end of Spy Kids 3. He's the guy from he's Elijah Wood at the end of Spy Kids 3, realizing that I'm not that guy. But he's Junie from the end of Spy Kids 3. Like, yeah, he's not exactly what they're looking for, but he's got it down. He's gonna help in the ways he can. And then he gets tackled by a fucking kaiju.
He's not Bruce Willis in Unbreakable. He's Mr. Glass, but not evil.
Right. He gets tackled hard. Like, his organs are fucked. And
yeah.
And Hoshina is just like, hey, by the way, if we have to save your ass, you fail automatically. And Kafka's just like, you know what? I don't give a shit.
Hey, don't worry, we won't let you die. Just you fail a test.
Yeah, you're not gonna be a part of this group if we have to save you. And Kafka's kind of like, okay, you know what? I don't give a shit if I die right now. I will not go down without a fight, because Mina is up there. Mina's watching me right now, and like, girl's gonna want to put hands on me after this.
Like, have you seen how tasty she is? Come on.
Like, she's still wearing them hair clips from like all them years ago.
Ooh, girl. Yeah.
And so he's like pushing himself. He's like, all right, fuck it. I can't do this, but I'm gonna do this. And we are once again put inside of a kaiju's mouth. Like, we spend an uncomfortable amount of time inside of a kaiju's mouth in this show. And Kafka's like, just straight up, he's accepted, I might die. And Hoshina's like, yeah, I figured he was going to drop out pretty quickly here. But then the cavalry arrives.
But can we also say, the people in the warehouse, they took way too long to activate his fucking shield.
Oh yeah, they were like, well, to be fair though, he was also saying like, don't activate my shield yet. Like, he's
got a 0, and he was about to, and he was like an inch from the inside of a kaiju's mouth.
Yeah, but like, okay,
you
remember.
Make the hard call thing. Sad fail. Boop.
Remember though, there's a camera on every single combatant. So like, they're aware that there is somebody coming to help him. Like, I think it was more of like, okay, let's give this a minute to play out before we completely fuck this guy's life over.
I still think they were wrong.
Well, luckily for Kafka, Shinomiya shows up and blasts the fucking thing down. And for the first time...
Which, by the way, that's what we were saying before. Because in other shows, that would have been the moment where, what's this? His unleashed combat powers through the roof.
He just killed it. No, he's...
Change into a kaiju.
No, he didn't do nothing. He was accepting, like, okay, this might be it for me. But I'm still going to get up and try. And Shinomiya shows up and she's like, hey, get the fuck up. We don't have, like you're on my battlefield right now, and I don't accept quitters and I don't accept death. So get up. And I honestly, for the first time since she has shown up on screen, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I see this. I can get behind this.
All right. We can keep her around.
Okay, Squirrely Dan. Okay. And
hey, Jerry, okay?
And she's like, yeah, I saved you, but like, also you suck. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? You're still the worst. And I'm that much better than you?
You're still a little bitch. You're still a little bitch, and I'm still the best.
I mean, she's basically Regina George if she was hunting monsters.
Well, if Regina George was actually competent at existing.
Yeah.
And then and I gotta be honest, like this whole unfortunately, this episode is not, in my opinion, this doesn't feel like a full episode, because while yes, things have happened, like it's like it cuts off just so suddenly. Because like,
yes, and I can tell you this, by the way, the part that it should have, so episode 2 should have been half as long as it was, and episode 2 should have ended with them getting into these suits that have their unleashed combat potential.
Right.
Then episode 3 should have been the start of in here.
Sure.
Because it ends with, Kafka doing the I'm gonna power up. And he powers up to 0.01%.
Which
unleashed combat potential.
Look, I gotta be honest with you. Yes, it's such a negligible number on any other scale. But for a dude that started off with 0, like which had never been seen before, to go up anything. Like, I get the feeling the suit just wasn't working for him at all.
No.
And then, he managed to find something that triggered it to activate some kind of control on the power.
Yeah, horniness.
He is God. Do you think those suits have like a jerk off mechanism in it, like the Spartan suits from Halo?
Tell you what, I'd be afraid to jerk off in that suit. Like, are you saying, do you think the suit would open up the peen out and you could jerk? Because that
no. Okay, so check it out. This is 100% true. This is not me fucking with you. The Spartan suits from Halo have a function where the suit will jack you off.
That seems impractical more than anything. Considering that's a hard shell, and where's the room to get the hard on? Does it only work for micropeens?
Hold on. Actually, I had to fact check myself because I realize now that I got this off of a Reddit.
Well, the first Reddit, no, Master Chief's suit does not jerk him off.
That's stupid. Okay, I'm gonna
to answer your question, no, I don't think it has that.
I think it's dumb that it doesn't. You could just have a little soft fleshlight mechanism installed in there. I think it'd be cool.
Except for one thing, you'd have to always be hard.
Oh fuck! I'm going into battle hard as a rock. So, all right. So Kafka finally pulls his ass up off the ground and is like, "Okay, let's do this." And Mina is looking at him and for the first time, we see Mina show some kind of emotional, emotion. It's just first time ever we see her showing emotion, other than just straight faced, I'm good at what I do. And she's kind of got that glimmer, oh my god, he is so fucking cool right now.
That's not what I took from this.
Are you serious? Oh no. Okay. Here's the thing: is I would compare her reaction to him getting up and being like, "I'm gonna do this," to what Android 18 feels about Krillin.
I took it as her being like, "This fucking idiot."
No. Hold on. I'm.
Or do I have to keep dealing with him?
Hold on. Let me see. There's her eyes. Yeah. No, this is so okay. Did you've seen Dragon Ball all the way through, right? Or at least enough of. How much do you know?
I've seen all the way through the Blue Saga.
Okay. So then you would have missed out a little bit on this one. So one of the things is Android 18 can absolutely destroy Krillin. 100%.
Yeah, obviously.
But there's a point in, I think it was the second story arc of Dragon Ball Super, when Frieza comes back to Earth, that Krillin's at this point Krillin's a cop, and he's just protecting West City from crime and shit. And they find out that Frieza's on the way back. Goku and Vegeta are gone. They're not on world anymore. They're training with aliens and shit. And they're like, okay, so we need those of us that are still here to fight Frieza, right? And because Android 18 has a daughter, she can't just fucking bounce, right? So she helps Krillin get ready to fight. And as he's flying away, fully knowing that she should be the one going, she is so much stronger than he is. As he's flying away, she goes, "Oh my god, he's so cool." And that's kind of the same vibe I'm getting from Mina. I could be way off. I could be way off base on that, but
I'm not getting that vibe. But okay.
That's just that. I guess I'm looking at the glass, 0.01% full.
Oh, I'm looking at it as a fuck you, auntie.
Okay. So yeah, so the episode kind of ends with Kafka finding the will to go on, and Mina seeing it and having a reaction. What that reaction is, we're clearly not gonna agree on, which is fine. We're friends. We can move past that. Also, in the ending credits, when we have the cute scientist girl, like, looking at all these pictures of the hot, sweaty dudes, and eating a pink donut, or a pink frosted sprinkle donut, that is the most delicious fucking sprinkle donut I've ever seen in anime. That's like the studio...
I mean, let's be honest. I feel like she licked that donut a lot before that first bite.
She stuck her tongue in the hole of that donut, for sure.
She tongue punched that donut box.
She tongue farted that box of donut. But yeah, this episode, like I said, I've said it felt incomplete. It didn't feel like the episode was done, and I get why they did it. They have to end the episodes on cliffhangers so that we know, like, so that we keep coming back for more. And I'm excited to see what happens next, because, like, I kind of know what happens next from reading the manga, but that was, like, over a year ago, so I'm kind of just re-enjoying this for the first time. So, yeah. What are your final thoughts?
I very much enjoy this show. I got very upset with them when they made me wait an extra week for an episode.
Oh my god.
And this show this is one of those shows that immediately draws you in. There's a lot of shows where after like 2 episodes you're like, this is a great fucking show.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I've watched anime before where it wasn't until episode 5 and then it became one of my favorite shows of all time.
Sure.
This is one that draws you in from the first episode, and while I could not agree with you more about this being an incomplete episode, it still keeps me interested.
Oh,
which is it's just a huge
testament.
Not a shout out. Thank you, testament to the writers, and I just really enjoy it. I'm glad we're doing it. And I can't wait to keep going with it. Here's
my thing is to what you're saying about this being a show that draws you in. I tried watching this show while I work. I can't. I have to pay attention to it because it's fucking incredible.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. Agreed.
So, well, I am excited to continue on the journey with you, Jeff. But we'll pick up from...
I mean, I'm excited to continue on the journey. I don't care if you're there.
Yeah, that's fair.